Yes, we're starting. We are recording. Does that sound okay? Is the sound okay?
Yes.
Well, there's a lot in the news today. I read the news today, oh boy, about a lucky man who made the grade. Although the news was rather sad, I just had to laugh. I saw the photograph. Hannah, you're annoying me.
I haven't even said anything.
Yes, Hannah.
So I annoy you from the start. You just look at me and I'm annoying.
Look at my teeth.
Maybe there are teeth which are annoying you.
These are temporary veneers. I just went to Blackrock Dental. It's very important to have a good relationship with a dentist. Problem is, I used to go to Smiles, but the thing is, you'd get a good dentist there, but they'd always move. They go from dentist to dentist.
You already said
I
that.
know, but I've said it again. But my God, to get... I first of all, they filed down my teeth, made me look like Shane McGowan, and then they put in these big fucking veneers. And it's cost $7,000 or $7,500 so far. It's fucking a lot of money. You know when you say, how much is it? With a 7,000. Huh?
You're just like...
And then you're like, do you want to pay it all now? Do I want to pay it all now?
I don't want to pay it all.
And I said, is that the total amount? Well, I don't know. You don't... Why don't I just, what do you call that when you have with
Installment.
Installments. You know, when you have a standing order.
I'll direct debit.
I'm just going to have a direct debit with my dentist. Okay, Hannah, I can't articulate myself. Let's introduce the show, Daniel.
Yeah, cool. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to And That's Why We're Not Together, starring David McSavage and Hannah Andrews.
Welcome, everybody, to And That's Why We're Not Together. Jake is back. Jack has gone back to Amsterdam. Jake is back. That's the breaking news. Jake, the rat is in the tank. Hello, good evening, good morning, Germany. Jake is back. Jake is wearing shorts.
Summertime.
That's the big news.
Have you got something against me wearing shorts?
I think everything is...
Are you jealous of these legs now?
I'm jealous of Jake's legs, Hannah.
Do you want to show your legs?
Do you want to show your donkey things?
David, just
don't.
stop it. Stop being so aggressive.
I'm not being aggressive. I love you.
What happened to you?
I love you very much. That's how I show affection.
I think bring David back, the real David.
So we were at Grandad's 90th birthday, and one person at the party, at Grandad's 90th birthday party, they did a big belch during dinner. And I just thought, I wanted to say at the time, you ignorant little bastard, you're setting a bad example for the young people here. But you know, one of these lads, he thinks he's funny, and
Stop it, it's your family.
It's not my family.
Yes, it is the extended family.
Or extended family. I wish I could extend them further.
Somebody who chosen that person is going to be really hurt because they've chosen that person and they are proud of their choice.
There's a fine line between a choice and a hostage situation. Okay, let's look at Jake. Jake and Daniel are going, leave us out of it. Okay.
I plead the fifth.
I plead the fifth.
I also don't support your
belching.
Comments, and no, I don't support belching, but I don't support your comments whatsoever. I think you judgmental. You're wrong. You're not.
And also, I was talking to this lovely couple. They had 2 kids outside Donnybrook Fair in Donnybrook, and this wanker extraordinaire. You know, one of these guys. He's driving a Range Rover, but he kind of drove really close to get to park. And as he was walking by, he got out of the car. And I said, "Mate, that was kind of close." And he said, "Oh yeah, but you should have got blah 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 blah." And then I'm like, I go, fuck you. I gave him the finger.
Did you?
Yeah, but I was standing talking to people. Oh yeah, we saw your show, and and suddenly they're looking at me, losing my temper with this little middle class gobshite. I did the right thing, Hannah. I might have lost 2 fans, but fuck it. Okay, so I got my teeth done, Hannah. Very expensive, 7,000. I probably still have to pay more money as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you think about it, you file down the teeth. I could have done that myself. I mean, I could inject myself, numb my own mouth.
Or you could hit yourself. That would numb you to
Look, Hannah, I'm just saying, right, that how difficult could it be? You could DIY it yourself.
Yeah, I think so. They should sell like tools to DIY your teeth.
Yeah, how difficult would it be?
I don't know.
So you just, you file down your teeth, you make a thing, and then you just slunk. Like, really, it's not, like, how does it go 7.5 grand? 8 grand. Okay, Hannah, you're not with it at all.
I would think your smile looks great, though.
I'm an American. I won't be able to do that joke, black teeth matter.
Oh,
you know? Yeah, anyway. Okay.
We should come up with new jokes by now.
So hurtful. Hurtful because it's true. Okay, big controversy. Garron Garron Music. What's his name on Instagram?
Yeah, like Garron Music, or something.
Did you see the post?
Yeah, I saw it, yeah.
Okay, let's play the post and we'll comment on it, yes? We're jumping into a whole can of worms here. Okay, so what's he talking about?
One of the richest countries in the world. There absolutely is an immigration issue in Ireland. That doesn't mean that people feel like we shouldn't take the refugees that we're able to take. It doesn't mean that people feel like people shouldn't be able to come here for better opportunities. But the systems that we have in place are being taken advantage of.
In a way, I think if you don't let people discuss issues, you hide the problem.
Yeah.
You say it's not there. It's gonna bubble up. You know. So I think people should be allowed to express in a civilized way.
Yeah, and I
respectful.
hate that idea of this phrase cancel culture. I don't think he's cancelled, but the idea that phrase is thrown around, the idea that you cancel a human being, like it's almost like, to me it feels like you want to eradicate all memory of them or something. It's just a horrible way to talk about people.
But he shut down his own media.
Yes,
Maybe he needs to take a break. I'm not sure. Will he come back?
Yeah.
Maybe he will have even more followers,
Yeah.
Because being controversial just, makes people more curious.
Yes.
And I don't think he meant bad. It's just it was misjudged from his side. If you stop people saying stuff, they will become angry and racist
But why do people? What being racist is a really stupid thing to be.
Yeah, I know, but if somebody says something, there's instant label. You racist.
Oh yeah.
They're not racist. They're just saying, expressing. Not even opinion, observation. It's a really skill. That's what Ricky Gervais is good. He doesn't really express his opinions. He makes his observations. That's why he's still there. People love watching him, and they can't take him down because he observes stuff.
Well, that's what I. Is the sound okay on this, Daniel? I don't know. It's weird, but I don't know. It just sounds a bit weird. But what I don't like is the idea whereby people dig trenches and they just. This is that opinion. This is that opinion. And if you don't agree with my opinion, where's the discourse? I like dissenting voices. I think that's a sign of freedom. I mean, I might not agree, or I might disagree or agree with what you're saying, but I do like the ability to be able to express, and sit down. I mean, there was a black activist. He talked to Joe Rogan. This guy's extraordinary, and he would go and find members of the KKK.
Oh, I remember.
Like, if you really want to change society. You need to talk. Like you were talking about, at some point you have to sit around a table with your enemies and talk and figure this out, But there is definitely a little bit of a... Well, you see, I don't know what comments were made about Garron Noon or what comments he read that made him get off social media. But... And also, here's the other thing that Garron Noon should read. If he, I don't know, he won't see this, but I would say to anybody like Garron Noon who gets successful, you're going to have people, definitely in Ireland, people are going to hate you. You know what I mean?
Everywhere.
Yeah.
I think everywhere.
A small group of people will resent your success. So a sign, the fact that you're getting critical comments is in a way a tribute to the fact that you're culturally significant enough that people are actually fucking listening to you. And here we are talking about Garron Noon, but I wouldn't
he can come to our podcast.
But he's only a young guy. And I wouldn't be looking to Garron Noon for any guidance.
But he's an entertainer.
Yeah.
He just talks about tea and how different tastes, of tea, and that makes us laugh. And that's what we want to do. We don't want to be political all the time because actually he's right in a way. Nobody cares really what he thinks.
Yeah.
They want to hear him saying funny thing about a sandwich he buys in the countryside somewhere in Ireland, and how soggy it is, and he's like a connoisseur all of a sudden, but he's a bit overweight, and surely he likes eating a lot. I'm sorry, I don't want to be shaming anyone.
Yeah.
So, but since when Garron Noon is a food connoisseur,
Right?
But he makes funny comments.
Yeah.
And listen, we have a small podcast, and I've seen the comment, the podcast would be better without Hannah. And I was hurt.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, I take my books and go home.
That was me that wrote that.
So I just felt like going home, but you said no. I'm gonna stick to it for one more show. And then somebody said they love me.
And I suppose also, historically, Ireland was a great place to leave, and so many Irish people went to the United States. So many, there was nothing for us here, and now that our economy is doing well, we have to open it up to a certain extent to people from different countries.
But David, no one is against people who are coming in. I actually think that Ireland is really, in general, really, really welcoming country. No one wants to, I'm Polish. No one wants to stay in Poland. All the immigrants, they just want to go through because there's no system in Poland which would give you that amount of money and you can live off,
Oh, really?
Social system is so bad that I don't know how people even can survive of it.
As regards immigration, the fear factor, that the country is going to be overrun. I think most people in the world, I've travelled, you've travelled, people are good, but it is horrifying to speculate or think about a criminal element coming from another country and causing crimes or attacking people. That's a horrible thing to think about. Nobody wants those type of people in the country, but those type of people, some of them are immigrants, some of them are Irish.
I don't think that people are, worried about immigrants who are coming here to work and all that. And I think people are very welcoming and you see them everywhere. Well, I think it's a government policy of taking more people that they can humanly support. So you have to sort of assess how many people you can take, how many you can provide housing support. So you can also support other things in the country. Let's say there were people saying, they're housing immigrants in the sports hall, and
you're talking about asylum seekers.
I'm talking in general, in general, the policies, taking, I think EU has this policy that every country has taken a certain amount of asylum seekers and then they're getting paid for it. And if they don't, they're getting fines, something like that. So I just think the country has to be ready.
But it's amazing because when I was growing up in Ireland, there was nobody wanted to come to this place at all. Yeah. Nobody wanted to come. I think, in fact, there was I think during the Vietnam War, Vietnamese boat people, they were asked to come to Ireland. They didn't even want to come to Ireland. People who were fleeing war didn't want to come here.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how bad it is. But definitely, if you're stepping into the political arena and if you have views or opinions people are going to react, and you have to be well able to. But people who are not used to being in that area, if it's not their area of expertise, people underestimate the vitriol or the level of hatred directed towards you. It's the same with stand-up comedy. In stand-up comedy, if you're standing on stage, and raising people's expectations, they think they're about to hear a joke, and it's not a joke, and it's not funny. The inappropriate levels of hatred directed towards you are quite. I've had it so many times. People are just like, we gave you our attention, and this is shit. Fuck you. So people who have opinions about immigration or whatever, or McGregor or whatever. I mean, I think McGregor is quite cynical. I think he used that argument to try and take attention away from what he went through, the conviction for sexual assault a few months earlier. I don't think McGregor gives a fuck about immigration or he's the one. People like him are what makes the streets dangerous. Surely.
Anyway, he's been investigated allegedly for inciting riots in Dublin or something by public prosecution.
Jesus.
But a lot of people are just.
What were you going to say, Jake?
I actually know a guy who looks the spitting image of Garron. And recently the poor fella's been walking around town and he's getting the middle finger and people go like this. It's fucking awful. He was in Brogan's yesterday with friends of mine, and even people went up to try and take a photo with him and everything. He's like, it's not me.
But if he I would say if Garron Noon keeps his shit together, like I think Hannah was right. I think he'll just get more followers.
He's going to get more followers.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay.
He's going to bounce back.
Anyway, moving on. What are we talking about, Daniel?
Has anyone watched Adolescence?
No, I've heard about it.
I just started, and I've seen this 13-year-old boy being taken away by the police to holding cell, and it was quite shocking.
I like the idea that I heard the guy who wrote it. What's his name?
Stephen Graham.
Stephen Graham talked about it was all in one shot, so they had to do the whole 50 minutes in one take. So it was done like a theater piece. You know what I mean? Like it was done like theater. So you just the camera had to stay with the action. There was no cut in the whole thing, which is incredible. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's very good. I definitely recommend give it a go. Yeah, very heavy stuff though.
What is it about a kid being taken away from his parents?
Well, no, it's about like he's a kid killer or whatever.
Oh, I see. Okay,
but it delves into the social aspects.
Don't spoil it for me.
Yeah, I'm not going to spoil anything, but it doesn't. You know what I mean? It's not your typical Netflix murder court case situation. You know, it kind of goes into everything, and it's very good.
Right. It's a deep dive into.
Yeah.
And what I've seen just the beginning. You know, like he's only 13, so you've got this squad coming in. You know, like fully. Weapons and everything takes him, and the fear in that boy.
Okay.
And the way he portrays, the fear and abandonment and loneliness and.
And Stephen Graham said they wanted a kid who hadn't been to drama school or anything like that. They just wanted to get a normal kid.
Yeah, so I think it's maybe the second or the third episode was his first time ever acting. And it's unbelievable, his performance. Like, I mean, it's quite amazing what Stephen Graham has done.
How many other kids are out there who are as good as him? But there'd be loads of kids out there who never thought of going into acting.
Or maybe they should stay away from acting.
No, but
it's the worst profession to make money.
Well, that's true.
And running the restaurant. So, if I have an advice, I think there was Stephen Galway who said it. Just don't follow your passion, follow your skills. You don't need to be passionate. You are going to be passionate when you make money, and then you're going to have a passionate hobby. And,
Where did we hear that one? There's nothing wrong with having a dream. Just pick the right one.
Yeah, the skills are the most important. So develop your skills. Then you develop also the flow that you're just going to use those skills. You start making money and you feel good about yourself.
And I'd just like to give a shout out to Robbie Bonham, who died there a few months ago. And he was a comedian, Robbie Bonham. Did you ever meet him?
No.
You met Robbie, didn't you, Daniel? Yeah. And He was fanatical about science fiction and in particular Doctor Who and Star Wars. So he collected all these trinkets, and this was one of the things. So we got this when we went to the funeral. So that represents Robbie Bonham's love of sci-fi. He also did a lot of really good drawings for the Savage Eye.
Oh yeah.
So every time I look at that, I think of Robbie Bonham,
Cool.
one of our tribe
Nice.
who's passed
Nice.
away.
Was he youngish? Or?
Yeah, he's in his 50s.
Very young.
Mm-hmm. Although, you know, like I'm 58, and like if I drop dead now, like if somebody in their 20s dropped dead, it'd be absolute consternation. How the fuck did this happen? This is incredible. I can't believe it. But if I drop dead, you know, I mean, people would be, oh, that's sad, but you know,
Yeah.
he wasn't in his 20s, you know.
He's still young.
Anyway, so I decided I had a few days ago. I woke up and I thought I was thinking about the place I grew up in, a place called Oakley Grove in Blackrock, and I thought I'd love to just go there and cycle around. Anyway, I met this woman who was there. Will I say her name? Doesn't matter, does it?
I'm not sure.
Okay, well, I won't say her name. Anyway, I met a neighbour there who had been there since I was... She still lives there. She's been there for 60 years.
So she must be like 80,
She's 90.
90.
But she's been there for 60 years. It's incredible, living in the same house for 60 years.
And does she like it?
Well, I mean, does she like it? She's been living there for 60 years. But it's incredible the continuity of some people's lives. And they just live in the same house. I mean, it's a lovely little suburb, lovely little road, little cul-de-sac, nestled in the heart of Blackrock. But, you know...
Affluent area.
No, it's not. It's middle class, you know. I wouldn't call it affluent.
Okay.
I mean, it's affluent if you compare it to some place that is totally no money or something. But anyway, look, the thing is that I went there. Oh yeah, and then I went up to this shop that I used to go. So like, when I was like 50 years ago, when I was a kid, 50 years ago, I'd walk from my house in Oakley Grove and I'd go up to this shop called Morris's. And I'd buy 2000 AD. So I just went up and had a look at the shop. I think it's an auctioneer's now or something. But,
2080, what's
it's
that?
The comic book was called
Oh.
2000 AD, and the big thing was Judge Dredd. And I used to love... I mean, the excitement I would feel, you know, on a Saturday, knowing that I'd get a new edition of this 2000 AD. I'd walk up, 8 years of age, go into the shop. Mr. Morris would be there. I've got it for you now.
Hello, Mr. Morrissey.
Hello, how you doing?
How are you doing,
And then I'd
David?
get 2000 AD, and I'd probably get a little sweet or something, you know, and I'd just go home and just like, 2000 AD, amazing.
Was it like
I don't know,
science
anytime I
fiction?
try and open up and tell you something, you have this weird look in your face like,
I'm loving
Oh,
it.
really?
I'm loving it. It's so sweet.
What did you do when you were an 8-year-old? Did you buy a comic book?
I'm not just trying to remember. Well, no, I didn't. I got some. I think we used to get some sort of, you know, paper for kids,
Yeah.
and that was, but nothing really as exciting as a comic book.
A comic. It was just little. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, I think when I was 8, I was still playing with dolls. Was I?
Well, I don't know.
You see, you get those memories when you get really old. Then you remember your childhood really well. I think I need to wait like 2 more decades to really remember because
You're only in your 30s, are you?
What I was doing when I was little.
So, yeah, 'cause we got married
My
when you-
dad
when-
is almost 90,
Yeah.
and he vividly remember his childhood.
Yeah.
As he didn't like 10 years ago or 15
Yeah,
years.
right.
So,
What comics did you read, Jake? Can you remember when you were a kid? When
Yeah,
you were...
I used to be quite into the DC stuff, like Superman and Batman, and
Oh, yeah?
that was kind of my buzz.
What about you, Daniel?
Yeah, I think the same kind of those kind of comics. Yeah.
Do you have any copies of them left?
No, I don't think so.
There's a lot of phlegm in your voice.
Yeah, sorry.
I think Daniel was into dinosaurs like
Oh,
no
yeah.
one else.
Dinosaurs and dragons. Yeah.
Yeah, and Harry Potter.
Oh,
and-
yes. That's right. Daniel went to the Harry Potter camp in Poland.
Yeah, but like he was.
Was it in
really,
Poland?
Yeah. like 4 of them, I think.
Do you remember them, Daniel?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, it was good. It was good fun. Like it was nice. Yeah.
They had houses, they had caves, they had wands.
Oh,
They had Gryffindor.
They joined the camp. They joined the houses. Gryffindor, Hufflepuff.
Yeah. They did the same rituals, picking up the names from the hat, didn't you?
Yeah.
So which house were you in?
I think they had different names for them.
In Poland.
In Poland, yeah. So I can't remember which one. It probably was like Hufflepuff or something.
All right. And did people play the characters or no?
No, we were just messing around.
Yeah.
I don't know, like how serious people took it. Like, yeah.
It's low.
We're just having fun. Like.
What's a good childhood memory, Jake, in terms of something like that in summertime or?
Well, I know I used to go up to this camp up the mountains. I can't remember for the life of me what it's called now.
Was it in Wicklow?
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah, go on.
And we just arts and crafts.
Right.
And go for walks and.
I think I went to the same one.
You might have. I remember we used to get picked up.
Yeah, I know what you mean, Jake. It's kind of just. It's like it's sort of you drive up here, drive up there, and it's just kind of all.
It was like a magical wonderland.
Little magical wonderland.
At that age, making clay and walking around the farm.
But it's true though, making bits of ale fucking
it's so funny how simple things
it will always be the case. Children are just like walking lumps of imagination, and you give them like that moulding clay. They used to call it mauler.
Yeah.
And you'd mould in. Inevitably, it'd always be a shite fucking ashtray or something that you.
I think Daniel was really good at that. He was really good.
But but a lump of this and a bit of coloured ribbons, and you just walk around, and and as a little child, it's a brilliant thing to give to a kid, and also there are other little kids around, and you find your mate and all that. It's great.
Yeah.
I think
used to be a scout as well.
I think. Would you say it's
summer camps?
Say that again.
I used to be a scout as well. I mean, I used to go to summer camps.
Yeah.
Out in a countryside by the lake.
Yeah.
And we didn't have the toilet. We used to have like a little shovel, and you go to the forest if you go for the big one, and you just, dig the hole, do your thing, and And then you wash. You had like.
We washed our bottom with leaves, wet Polish leaves.
I think so, because we didn't have toilet paper.
Yeah.
There was, just like you have to use whatever is available.
Yeah.
Like no shit.
And but definitely the best thing you can give to a human being is a good childhood, whatever form it takes. You know what I mean?
and then we used to swim and wash in the lake, but also wash the dishes and everything. So at the end of the month, there was like a foam around the lake.
Oh, jeez, no. Well, yeah, but I mean, that wasn't because of you kids.
I don't know.
What are you talking about? Like, how big was the lake?
Sort of medium size. I don't know. But it just cleansed itself afterwards. I don't know. We had fun anyway. And no one got sick anyway.
So you polluted a lake.
I think this is the opposite thing that scouts are supposed to do.
Yeah. You ruined the environment, Hannah.
Somehow the lake is still there, so like
all the locals are going, oh no, those children are going to shit in our lake again. Oh no, we won't be able to use it for months. That's terrible, Hannah.
Well,
no, but but I used to love, like I'd cycle, like we lived in Copenhagen, and what's the age difference between Daniel and Jack?
6 years.
So yeah, like I'd cycle around with Daniel, and I'd take him to street shows. But he's got such a good memory, and he'd remember all the songs I used to sing. I'm sure we talked about this, but all those silly songs, and that one in particular, I used to do to the tune of an REM song. Oh, what was it? Oh, Sweden is closer. Oh, Sweden is bigger. It's bigger than the Swedish people come here to get really drunk or something. What was it? Can you remember the words to that? No. Oh, sweet. I'd make fun of Swedish people coming to Copenhagen to drink a lot and get pissed. But Daniel remembered all the words, and he was like 3 years of age, and I'd put the microphone in his face. He'd be sitting on the street. But I'd be loving it, but most people would just be kind of like, what's that kid doing?
You just like, oh, love
Yeah. But because that's the thing. You assume because you love your child, everyone else does. And I mean, obviously they wish the kid well, but they're not.
They wish the kid wasn't on the street.
Ah.
Maybe an issue for social services.
Yeah, maybe an issue for social services. But it's funny. When I was at the dentist, there was a kid. When I say screaming, the kid was being a kid, right? But the dad was loving it and having a good time. But I was like, I was putting on my headphones just to block out the sound. Mm-hmm. But when it's your kid it's like when it's your fart, you can handle the smell, and if it's really smelly, you're kind of going, wow, well
proud
done,
of it.
proud of that. But if it's somebody else's, no, are you comparing farts to noisy children?
But listen, I think the worst is there's a kid behind you and kicks your chair
Oh,
while
fuck
you're on the
that.
airplane.
No, and then
and you're
the cinema.
stuck. Oh, in the cinema?
annoying.
That's why I don't go to cinema.
Yeah, 100%, Hannah.
Oh my God.
My God, there's total consensus here. What's happening?
This is just disgraceful.
No, but it's true. I
And-
couldn't agree with you more. I need to lock into the cinema, and if people will take me out of it, ruin my enjoyment, so I won't go.
And the smell of popcorn and the way the people eat.
Yeah.
Just like, it's vile.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't stand it.
No,
the
I can't.
noises they
Yeah.
make. And they breathing so loud.
Yeah, breathing.
Like,
Oh, yeah. But no, I agree with you. No, people, kids kicking the back of your chair on a plane, and then you look behind. You think the look would go, if I was in the position of the mother, I would say, oh, sorry, no problem. Mm-hmm. And say, Daniel, don't. Oh, okay, But some kids, they have no control over their kids at all.
no.
And then you look at the mother, and she has that blank, fucked face. They just look wrecked. They have
She's
no control.
locked. Because she can't go.
No, but the kids, like some mothers or fathers, they just look like they're just have a nervous breakdown. They can't handle the kid at all, and they just tell your child to stop kicking, and you feel bad asking the child to stop kicking the back of the.
No, I don't. I think you just stop being a fucking brat. Stop kicking my fucking chair.
That's very 1970s, isn't it? To be a kid there and you just go like that. Remember that?
Listen, I love about the kids. They have no moral issue with expressing their, emotions. Because we started like, wah!
Yeah.
They just don't care how loud they are, what situation it is. They just scream.
Yeah. I had that thought whereby, when a kid is having a shit, and like a little baby, and they're there and they just show it in their face, and there's no hide. They don't care. Like, there's no embarrassment. They've got a nappy on and they're having a shit, and they're sitting right in front of you and they're going like, right? And and then the parents are going, well done, I mean, that's really what we're chasing for our whole life, is the validation that our parents give us when we do a shit. And when you see somebody picking up an Oscar, that's basically just the whole world going, did you do that big shit? Look at you. I'd like to thank everyone. Fuck off. Adrian Brody, 7 minutes. Just thank you and fuck off, mate. Anyway.
Yeah. What did he say over that for 7 minutes?
Who knows? Listen, my point is, I could have a shit now, right? I could be wearing an adult diaper, and I'd be able to look. I'd be just talking, but I'm shitting, but you wouldn't know it. So I don't know. Did I have this idea that in news, somebody reading the news earlier today, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, and they could be shitting, and you wouldn't even notice because they're just So we were able to separate the action of shitting from our facial expressions. That's the difference between children and adults.
Do you like the idea of being able to shit in public?
Oh no.
Jake, what the fuck?
I don't mean on...
Wait, give yourself a clanger. No, you mean if you're stuck?
Yeah, no, like if you're wearing a nappy or something, for example.
I know. Yeah, can you imagine if you were in that situation where you have to?
No, I think.
I told you about the shite attack that I had. Like I don't know how far away it was from the travel lodge, but you know what I mean. And your arsehole is going, meow, it's happening, and then you kind of, but then you really get real with yourself. You really kind of start talking to your sphincter and going, keep your shit together. We have to hold it. You know what I mean? And then you just walk in and you're such focus. You get to the hotel. Boom. Anyway, this it's like a thriller though. It's like a thriller.
Yeah. We've been through it.
I often sometimes I know we've been through it. I often sometimes when you meet somebody and
So
they go, sorry I can't talk, and you think they're very rude. Maybe they just need a shit really badly.
Yeah, very funny. No, I'm just thinking you're repeating yourself because
I know I'm repeating myself.
You want our listener to be really familiar with the material we're talking about. So okay. Oh yeah, and about the scene
Camping, Poland.
Scene.
Yeah, does this remind you of camping in Poland, Hannah? Look. Proszę. Toileta.
Actually, we had
Woods.
to during scouting period when I was like 9. I learned not to use sugar to my tea because there was shortage of sugar. So everybody, for 3 weeks of camping, you bring your own sugar in your jar. But obviously 1 jar is not enough for 3 weeks. So, I ran out of sugar. And, since then, I drink tea without sugar. It's just the worst stuff. But I'm quite thankful to the communist country that they didn't provide sugar to my scouting camp because it really saved me a lot of.
I know what you mean though. We're very sugar addicted in this country.
Yeah, I mean it's like
rows and rows of confectionery everywhere you go.
All the teeth are actually rotting.
And by the way,
since sugar was introduced to a wider society, because before sugar was really expensive.
Fucking sugar coming over here and ruining our teeth.
Yeah.
Sugar should go back to Malaysia, Cuba. Fucking Cuban. And all those seagulls coming over here from different countries and the blackbirds and all and everything.
Yeah, we should shoot them.
The fucking sparrows, they should fuck off back to Africa and leave our chickens alone. And all those fucking swans and shit. See them up in the canal. Keep it in the Irish.
Yeah, I know. But isn't it just ridiculous that the birds are coming over just for 3 months,
I know,
taking
and they,
the best thing and fuck off?
Yeah, they fuck off. They don't even have passports.
Yeah, and going back to their own country.
Yeah, and they don't pay tax.
Nothing.
Don't contribute to this economy.
Nothing. Yeah, just eat like the stork. Eats the frogs.
Yeah.
And everything from our fields.
From our fields.
And then fucks off.
Are you Irish? You are Irish, aren't you?
I've got an Irish passport. I'm a proud new Irish.
Well, you see, my child is half Irish, half Polish. We don't like the half Polish bit. Here, what half of you is Polish? We'll beat the shit out of that half. What? You mean it's attached to the Irish? No, it's not.
I think it's one arm and one ear. We have to cut it off.
Yeah, get rid of that and send his arm back to Poland.
It's quite gruesome.
Okay. How long have we been broadcasting, Daniel? Well,
an hour and 3 minutes, 4 minutes.
There was a big shite in the middle of it, though.
Yeah, but we don't need to have a long podcast. I think
about 5 minutes.
We have Garron on our podcast.
Yeah, he's not going to come on our podcast.
Why not? Maybe. Why don't we send
He's
him?
too big.
Well, he can slowly rebuild his reputation through our podcast.
He doesn't need to rebuild his reputation. Nobody cares. He just said a few things that weren't fully figured out.
I know, but he shut down his own, social media. So we just encourage him, and we maybe hold his finger to.
And I'd like to welcome all
again
immigrants, especially the young girls between 25 and 30. And they can come and stay with me. No, I'm not going to have to cut that out.
No, we're not cutting it out. This is the funniest thing.
And going back to McGregor and all
Yeah.
that. I see this memes going around calling him Andrew Tato.
Brilliant. Andrew Tato.
And it's like Andrew Tato, a salt and vinegar.
A salt and vinegar, yeah. Fucking hell. But I don't know, lads. Don't know. I don't think we're going to lose our Irish. Anything else, guys? We're going to have to do a lot of cutting.
What about this Meghan Markle with love, Meghan?
Well, I saw a very interesting thing. Drew Barrymore had Meghan Markle on her show, and Drew Barrymore was showing Meghan Markle a picture of her and Princess Diana
when she was
really small. She's looking at me. Oh my God, she's such a. And for whatever reason, the way Meghan, it just reveals what a nut job or whatever she is. Like she could see, like, oh, great.
She dismissed
it.
it.
But it's kind of like, I'm the fucking princess now.
Yeah.
I'm the princess. Well, who cares? Well, okay, whatever. Okay, and then she goes, oh, that's great. Well, I'll be sure to tell H. I mean, the fact that she abbreviates this guy's name, Harry, to H.
Oh. I was lucky enough to.
That's really special.
It means so much to me to have met such an incredible human being that transcended everything. It was the honor of my life.
Oh my gosh, well, I will tell H that for sure, and yeah,
Okay. Cool.
You know, like we all know who. Like it's just like so cringy, the whole thing. And she kind of she didn't want to be a member of the royal family because she reckons.
And now she calls herself Duchess of Sussex.
Yeah, but she didn't want it first because of the racism thing.
Oh, racism! Just forget about. First she destroys the royal family, and now she wants to be part of it and calls herself.
She's
Duchess
the Garron.
of Sussex.
She's the Garron.
And I like. There was one comedian, and he said, I didn't care much about Meghan Markle, but now I know I hate her.
Huh? Who said that?
Oh, some comedian. After watching with love, Meghan.
Did it get a laugh?
Yeah, I laughed.
Wow.
Because you know she's like she's not she's very insignificant. Like who is she? She's
Anyway, there was okay. Listen, guys, I don't know. We're going to have to do a lot of cutting.
Yeah, you know what? Apparently she does. She does have a Bot store pretzel. A package of pretzels, and she takes it out and repackage it in a different
on her TV show.
A different sort of plastic bag, and labels it, and that's her cooking skill.
Yeah, she vibrates at a very strange frequency. That's what I can say. I don't. It's like her facial expression. She's struggling to come off like she's all kind of natural and really into this and that, but it all looks very, very contrived. And it's weird that she felt put up or put out by Drew Barrymore showing this picture of Drew Barrymore when she was a little child with Princess Diana. And like the way she said, well, you had a great, I'll be sure and tell. Like, I mean, huh? It's just very weird.
She won't be telling because nobody talks to her from a royal family. So what is she on about?
Anyway.
And also Drew Barrymore, I mean, she's so friendly to everyone. She's on something as well, I think.
Anyway, I haven't. Okay,
What?
No, I just.
You just want to edit everything.
Yeah,
Cut
I do.
out everything.
You
just like censor yourself. It's insane what you're doing. Pretzel.
But look, okay.
Store.
Look. I'll be Meghan Markle. You be Drew Barrymore, and you show me this picture.
Oh. Look, Meghan, that's me with Princess Diana. I'm so little, and look, isn't it amazing? I cherish it so much.
That's lovely. I'll make sure and tell H. Oh, who's H? Oh, Harry. Oh, it's such a secret. Oh, we didn't know, but we do know, but we don't know. But you do want to be in the royal family, but you don't. But you are, but you're not. But you are not, but you are. But they're racist, but you're not. But you are, but I'm not.
Does she really have the title? Or they stripped her from the title? I just wonder.
I wish them all well anyway.
I wish she was stripped from the title because she's so pretentious.
I wish she was a stripper. That would be brilliant. I wish she had an OnlyFans. She should do that, shouldn't she?
Yeah.
OnlyFans.
Oh,
Hi, everyone. It's your favourite royal.
Yes.
Meghan Markle.
We can even give a script what she can do.
Okay, I'm going to have to cut everything.
No, you can't. This is actually funny.
What, Meghan Markle?
Yeah. Like, like what? Is she gonna sue you?
Okay, Daniel, thank you, young Prince Jake. The future of this country is yours. Hannah, try better.
You're not welcome.
Try better.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Apparently, podcasts will be better without me.
Okay, see you next week.